of questions. So Power BI is a business intelligence tool developed by Microsoft that allow users like you and I to visualize our data, analyze trend, and share our insights through interactive dashboard and report, right? Through interactive dashboards and reports. So you can connect to multiple data sources and transform your raw data into something, really, really meaningful. You can connect to multiple sources. So when you say connecting to multiple sources, it means that you're connecting to um, you can connect to sources like you can get your data from SQL, MySQL, from your database, from an API source, Azure, like a lot of places. Power BI has given us, that connectivity. I don't know if any of you are using Windows, but you discover that the moment, if you're not using a very strong window, you discover that the moment you load in your Power BI, it begins to slow your system down. Yeah,
Yes.
it begins to slow us. That's because that's how powerful it actually is. Like, I think when I had my Power BI on, I had to go back to go and increase the RAM or something, because it could just keep on rolling and rolling and rolling, without stopping. And it was the effect of Power BI. So it's actually a very, very powerful tool, right? And it's
Yeah.
meant for business analysis. So this every single app you see out there, every single software, every single tools you see out there, they all have a story, right? They all have a story. Some persons are trying to do this to probably help solve the problem of their friends who are analysts, right? To for easy visualization. While some persons now, I think the story behind the Power BI is just basically to help businesses, easily get visualizations that are beautiful and interactive, right? So it was basically, developed for what business. That's why it's called a business intelligence tool. This is a quick way you can just say, okay, let us, as a business owner, let me drop my data. You want to just get a quick insight to what you want to get a quick insight to just, know what is happening within your organizations, find trends and patterns, so you can take proper decision. So that's basically what it is. And of course, we already said and established that it is being owned by Google. Now, your Power BI tools also helps you to analyze data and make a better decision. Now, when choosing a BI tool, there are things you should consider, like, okay, it's very easy for use. It's very, very easy. I think out of all of the data visualization tools out there, Power BI is one of the most easy one to use. Like, it's actually very, very user friendly. Unlike Tableau is not for beginners because it has a lot of complexity, right?
Yeah.
Power BI is user friendly, like you can consider such thing, and it has a very, very good data integration as well. You have good data integration and very good visualizations. That is for Power BI. Now let's look at Power BI connections and components. There are a lot of ways you can, connect your data into Power BI and components, but we're just going to talk about three, like the three most important one that you as data analyst, you will get to face or will get to use in your career as you grow in your career. You have the Power BI service, the Power BI desktop, and the Power BI mobile. Sorry, let me rephrase it again. I think it's from desktop to service and to mobile, right? So now the desktop version means that you are going to be carrying out all your work in your Power BI desktop, right? You're going to create and design your reports in your desktop. That is basically what the desktop is for. You do every single thing you want to do in your desktop. While that of service is just for you to share and collaborate your reports with your stakeholders or even co-workers. You can collaborate and share your report with your stakeholders and co-workers. Now, you may be wondering, like, what can somebody do in the Power BI model? I don't know if you've tried to download the Power BI model. You see that it's actually, it looks somehow, but the whole idea was for us to be able to have understand what is going on our phone on a go. So it means that a certain stakeholder or a CEO can be traveling, can be on a transit, and he doesn't have to bring out his system to see what is happening in his organization. He could just bring out his phone and he have an idea of what is happening within the organizations, right? He would have a full idea of what is happening um, within the organizations. Now, one of the reasons why you should choose Power BI quickly is because you have easy data visualizations. Data visualization in Power BI is easy peasy, right? It's easy peasy, right? Easy data visualization that creates interactive charts and dashboard. You have seamless data integration. So you can connect your data with Excel, with SQL, with Google Analytics, and many others. Now, powerful data analysis. You can support, complex calculations and AI-powered insight for, you know, some powerful data analysis, and of course, real-time data updates. If you're working on any real-time data, it means that all you need to do is just to go ahead and carry out your work, do all your analysis, carry out your model, your calculations, everything. Now, as the data keeps on coming, you just have to go and hit your refresh button, and automatically your Power BI is going to give you the new insight. Like, you're going to see it increase. Like, that's like the sweetest for me. That's like the sweetest part of Power BI, right? It just helps you. You just see it, like, it's actually very sweet when you're working with live data, or yeah, or continuous data, because it means that the more new data keeps coming in, you don't have to go back to start doing any work again. You don't have to go back for any analysis. You don't have to go back to look at this or that. Just make sure that you have a good model from the beginning, and your work is good to go. Your work is good to go. So that is more like, okay, a brief overview about this. Now, the last thing we'll just look at here, right? If you notice that, okay, your Power BI we have, okay, let me do it this way. You have two major things you should look at, which is the Power BI desktop and the Power BI service. For your Power BI desktop, it can connect data from the Microsoft, from the CSV, from the SQL, Salesforce, like so many, from YouTube, from Azure, and a lot of places. Why that of your desktop is just for three persons: you, your stakeholder, and the person you're collaborating with. So do you see how it works? These are like, okay, basically what you look at when you're doing this. All right, so over here, just like I've explained earlier, let's just take it over. You said Power BI is a powerful business intelligence tool that enable organizations to analyze, visualize their data meaningfully. Now, in this section, we're going to provide an introduction to Power BI, exploring why firms choose Power BI, the architecture, and all of that. So basically, what I've just been talking about is just more like, okay, you'll be looking at, you could call like, okay, they're like more like the Power BI architecture and all of that. That's more like a general introductions. Now let's look at how the Power BI workflow. Power BI workflow means that you can connect your data to you can when you connect your data, it means that you can import from either import from Excel, from SQL, or even from an APIs, and you can get to transform your data, right? Have we heard about Power Query before?
Yes. Yeah.
Fine. So you can get to transform your data through Power Query, right? Which is also another very amazing tools that is embedded in Power BI, right? Over here, this is where you're going to clean and format using your Power Query. Now you go ahead to create your visuals and dashboard charts and graphs. And of course, from this point, you can now share your work to your stakeholders, right? This is more like a Power BI. Um, this is more like a Power BI workflow. This is more like a Power BI workflow. So before we go further, I'm going to be sharing my Power BI screen with you, where I'm going to be looking at all of the overviews, right? We're going to be looking at the every single ribbon and every other thing. Now we're getting what this is the practical class. I'm sure we already know already. We already know that. So we're getting to know how to use the tools, how to navigate our ways around the tools and the likes. 1 minute. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing or present something else. Yeah. Window. So please, while the class is going on, if you feel like you have any questions, you can go ahead and let us have your questions, right? Let's make it as interactive as possible. Time to load. So let's just hold on a bit. I was working on something else
Power
before.
BI.
So since I have two file open, it's gonna take yeah, it's gonna take a while to load. So I'm just gonna try and close this first one. Uh, save. So I hope you can see my screen, guys.
Yes,
Okay, fine,
please.
fine. So basically, the moment you get into your Power BI, I'm going to come back here. Once you open it, why is this hanging? Don't do this right now, guy. Okay, fine. Okay. So the moment you open your Power BI, this is the first thing you get to see, right? You have new blank, sorry, blank report. Just like your Excel would always want to introduce you. You have a blank report, and then you have your recommended. And if you have been working with some stuff before, you get to see them over here, like stuff that you have saved before. But if not, there'll be nothing there. So let's go back to home. Now, this is like the main Power BI interface. This is basically what Power BI, all of the Power BI interface that you've got. Uh, you have this as your ribbons. You have this as your ribbons. Now, over here, under, if you can you see my cursor moving, guys?
Yes.
All right, fine. So if you can see my cursor moving, where you have this particular icon is meant for you to save your work, right? I can save my work from here. You can, undo and redo your job. If you're working on anything and then you feel like, okay, I wasn't supposed to do this, you can always undo and of course redo. Over here, this is where as you can see, it's showing us untitled Power BI desktop because there's no title yet. So it's going to be showing us. You said something.
No, it's a background from somewhere.
Okay. All right, so you see, it's going to be showing us that is untitled until we're able to save it. And of course, you can always make a search from here. If I'm looking for any of the work that I've done before and I want to make a search, I can always come here and make a search. Now, moving forward, after that first line, okay, yeah, you have your sign in feature here. So for people that are using Office 365, is Power BI will be very, very so sweet for you. I have a student presently. She uses Office 365, and Power BI is so sweet because she can connect to the Power BI service. Like it was just so amazing. So if you are using let's say a Windows system, and of course is directly an Office system, sorry, a Microsoft system, it means that you're going to enjoy the whole tools a lot, right? So you can log in easily and all of that. Now, if I try to log in right now, I may not be able to log in because I have not really, get all of that done. And I don't even have an office mail that I can use to log in into the Power BI service, which may be the same case. But if you're using the Office 365 and then you have your whole Microsoft suite available in your system, it's going to be so easy because it's a Microsoft tool. Now we got to this place, you have your file. Let's start from the file here. When you have your file, if I go back, right, if you click on the file, it's going to take you back to this page. So it means that you can open a new sheet, you can save your work. If it's something you're working on before, you can just click on save. But if it's not, you can save as, you can share your work, you can get your data, import and export. Now let's go back to save as. If I want to save this very document, for example, the first thing I would want to do is to hit on my save as. Now, when I hit on my save as, it's telling me that it's on recent, or maybe you want it in OneDrive. So whichever one I click is basically where my document is going to be. Now, since it's on my recent, I can save either on my desktop, on my download. There's a folder I called my project work or my document. So whichever one I choose, if I choose my desktop, for example, it means that I can come back here and save whatever it is that I want to save. Put the name there. Now the extension file for Power BI is PBIX. That is Power BI extension, right? It's PBIX, and then of course it's going to give you the icon for you to go ahead and save. Right now, after the
The network.
Hi guys. So let me just type in until she comes back. This so far so good. Yeah, are we following? Do you understand what she has said about the different parts of Power BI and how to save your file?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's also very important that as you're working on anything, you save, because you can lose your file. And when you start with the main work, data cleaning and all, there's a part that um
Okay. Let me back.
so there's a part that will open up. Oh, I don't know the code. And then, so there's a part called Power BI. I mean, it's called Power Query. Power Query. That is where you do your cleaning and all of those things, right? Transformation. Now you can do close and apply from Power Query. When you close and apply, it means that whatever work you have done will come into Power BI. But if you forget to save the file, the Power BI file itself, you will lose everything. That see, it happens to me. It happened to me most just recently. I think last week, I was working on on a particular project and complex data sets. A lot of cleaning was done. I did a lot of cleaning and all of those things in my Power Query, and I am fond of not shutting down my system, right? So most
Sorry, I
times when
have
I
a question.
please ask.
Sorry to interrupt you. It's Ngozi. So when you have data that you want to work on, is it better to just put it in Power Query to clean it up, or is it better to start up with Google Sheets?
Oh, okay. Now, that's a fantastic question. Now, that question, it actually depends on what you want to do, what you're trying to achieve. So, let me give an instance. Recently, I I was working on particular set of project, I mean a particular project, and the data set had already been imported into Power BI from Google Sheets, but no cleaning was done on Google Sheets. It was direct into Power BI, right? And now I noticed that so when you're doing cleaning in Power BI, any cleaning you do on a particular column, right? If a new data set is added to the sheets in Google Sheets, right? That
Mm.
cleaning that you have done on the previous data sets that were available will also be applied to the new data set that is added. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
making sense. I'm speaking jargons.
Yeah, it's making
Yeah, it's
sense.
making sense.
So, to buttress my point, I think as usual, I love to do things practically. I will share my entire screen now and show you practically while we wait for uh, Umai to join back. Please, once you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, you can
Good.
see it.
So, based on practical thing, right? Let's quickly do something. I will create a Google Sheet, a blank Google Sheet. I think, or do I have anyone that will have data set on it? Okay, let's work with this as sales data sets, right? We have this sales data set that we've created. Good. We also created a form. I think I'll work with this form that we created. So let's say I want to bring this form, this very form that we've created, this form we created in one of these our classes into Power BI and do some analysis with it, right? This is what I'm going to do. My Power BI is opened already, okay? And I click on blank report. Um, Although I'm moving forward, so I'm going too forward, like too forward, based on what you guys are learning. But it's just because of the question God asked, and I need to like let you see practically what I'm going to explain, what I'm trying to explain. Now, watch this. Um, you can connect your data sets from Google Sheets. So this is one way. Of course, you're going to learn this in the near future. But let me just show you since we're talking about it. I'll go to File. I'll go to Share, Publish Data. I want to connect this data set to Power BI. So I want to publish the data as I'm publishing. Um, Let me just publish the entire document, right? But I want to publish it as CSV. All right. And then I'll click on publish. Of course, we've learned how to publish Google Sheet before now. So this is the link that I'm going to copy into Power BI. I've clicked on copy, Control C to copy. I will get back to Power BI, then hit on get data, click on web. All right. And once this thing opens up, I'll paste in the link URL and click on OK. Silver, please, can you just not shout? Click on OK and allow this to load. Great. Just watch this. So it's loading. And now you can see it's loaded into Power BI, but I've not actually taken it in. Now, it's saying here's a preview of what I want to bring into my Power BI. Do I want to continue? Do I want to load or I want to transform? Now, mind you, there are more sheets here. We have form responses 1, we have sheet 2, we have Austin Wells, we have copy of Austin Wells. But when we brought this into Power BI, what are we seeing? We are only seeing this form responses 1. Why? Why is this so? It is so because I chose, in my publish, I chose CSV. Okay, I chose CSV when I was publishing it, comma separated values. If I had to, assuming we chose Excel, it will display all the available worksheets, and then I would tick to select the one I want. In fact, I love to do things practically. Let me do it so you can. So I need everybody to understand what I'm talking about. I've changed it to Excel, right? I'll copy this sheet now back to Power BI. Go to web and click on paste. Then when I click on OK, watch what happens now. It will, instead of giving me just only one sheet, it will give me the list of all the available sheets in that workbook. All right, in that Google worksheet. Just allow it to load. Unable to connect. Encounter an error while trying to relationship lags. Line 2. Retry. That could be position 87. Let me try to do this again. Cancel. Refresh this page. I'll come back here and publish again. My network seems not to be great. All right. But please confirm you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Share. Publish to web. I want to publish my entire page. I want to publish to Excel. I'll copy this page. Click on close. Yes, I've copied it. Then back to Power BI. Go to get data, web, and paste. I'm going to paste the link and click on OK. What's happening here? Encountered an error while trying to connect. Relationship incorrect attributes line 2 position is 7. Okay. Is Umi back? She's not back yet.
She's not back yet.
Okay. So Excel workbook. Yes. Okay. Something is wrong though. Something is really wrong with this
Contents
Excel file.
incorrect.
I don't know.
Where's line 2 coming from? What's line 2 now?
I don't even know why it's giving me that error. Actually, I don't know why it's giving me that error. Well,
Maybe should we restart the app?
not really. Let's just go. Let's just go ahead with CSV since the Excel doesn't. Sometimes the Excel actually works misbehave like that. It could be that maybe because I'm trying to connect a Google form response together with normal Google Sheet. So it does like that sometimes. So it's not absolutely strange. Let me see. It's not absolutely strange. So let me just go ahead and do my comma separated value, and let me just give it at. Okay, so I'll copy this link, and then let's go back to paste it now. Let me cancel. And let's pay seriously. So I believe we will find another data set that we can import as Excel, and it will show you all the whole available sheets. So let's paste the CSV so I can quickly explain what I was trying to. So this is it. Now, for the sake of what I want to explain, I will just go ahead and click on load. I don't want to click. I'll just click on load, and once I do that, okay, Uma is back. Welcome back. Just the network kicked you out. Okay, so let me just complete the this thing. I mean, what I'm trying to explain, so that you get to understand from the question you asked. Um, that's Ngozi. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: since we have connected this to Google, I mean Power BI, whenever a data set is added to this particular sheet, once you update it, once you come to Power BI and click on refresh, sorry, when you click on refresh, the data set will be updated. So this is it here in Power BI. Here is the data set in Power BI. Can you see it? Because
Yes.
can you see it?
Yes.
So it stopped at Namdi, right? If we should fill the form, right? If we should fill the form and a new record enter here, as soon as I come to Power BI and I click on refresh from here, the data set will be updated. Now, if there's a need for me to do some cleaning, any form of cleaning or whatever, it's best to do it in Power BI, not in Excel. But there are some cases, I experienced one just last week, that would require you to effect the change in Google Sheets before you come to Power BI. Ngozi, do you understand that?
Yes. So my example I wanted to ask is, when we did the data cleaning and we added age, we did average and got that to add. So
Mm.
that kind of cleaning, do we do that in Power BI or
No,
Excel?
those ones should be done in Power BI, directly in Power BI.
Okay.
And as I believe that Umi will show you the reason why it's important to do it in Power BI. It's better to do it in Power BI than doing in Excel. There are just little slight differences or changes that might require you. So um, most times you always want to do everything in Power BI because all the steps will be saved there. But
Okay.
unlike in Google Sheets, you understand? Yes, Umi,
Okay.
welcome back. Confirm you can hear
I'm,
me,
s-
please.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, guys. I had no idea that I was logged out already.
Are you serious? Wow,
I had no idea
it
that I
was
was
a
logged
long
out
time, a long
already.
time.
I just saw it and I was like, what happened? Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the glitching network. Um, where did I stop or where did we stop? I don't know if the point where Mr. Namdi had to come in.
The last thing we heard you say was when you're talking about your save as, that if you click on the save button, something will happen. That was the last thing we heard you say, and you left. That was the last. I tell you,
Wow. That means we're talking all along. Interesting. Interesting.
that was the last thing we heard you say before you left.
Like I was almost done explaining all of the interface.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what happened seriously today, but I mean, I've been having all my virtual classes here, and I don't think I've had like it would even show me sign that okay, maybe it's breaking already. You see it trying to break. That's if the network want to misbehave. But this is just went so I just felt like okay, I wasn't hearing anybody. I was asking, are we still here? Can you hear me? And
Wow.
all right. I don't know if you can see my screen. This exactly what I was explaining. The last thing I was explaining means that I was done explaining home, insert, model, view, but it's fine already. It's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, so if you say the last thing you heard me said was save, that means it's when I was still here.
Yes.
It was when I was still talking about the first save button down to the login, right?
Yes, please.
Yes.
So save. Like you've gone to the file, you started talking about the file, how to save your document in. When you
Okay,
said your recent ahead, you click on save after naming the file.
okay. All right. I think we'll just take it up from here. So over here, I was saying that we could save our work from here, right? You can open your work, and if I click on my home, this is like your home page. If you click on open, it means that you want to open an already existing report that you have in your system. Now, if I say save, I'm trying to save a current report I'm working on. But if I want to save a new report, like basically what we have here, right? Just like I said earlier, if once I click on it, it's going to show me where and how would I want to save it. So I need to, tap on the location where I want it to be saved, and then come here to, type in the name of the document. Like, and again, I said we need to be mindful that anywhere you see any extension that has PBIX, that is, a Power BI file, right? And then of course you can also share your work from here. You can also get your data, import and export your data um from this phase. Are we good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So now from there I come to my home ribbon. So from my home ribbon, I have about, you have the home ribbon, the insert ribbon, the modeling ribbon, the view optimize ribbon. Now, under my home ribbon is subdivided into your clipboard, your data, your queries, your inserts, calculation, sensitivity, share, and capillo. That's about seven, right? Like they kind of subdivided it into seven different categories, of course, for them to do series of or help you perform series of operation. Now, one of the reasons why we have to take you through this phase is because while doing trying to do something within our system, or maybe we're trying to carry out a certain report, I could tell you to go to your model view, go to your model ribbon, click on this or click on that, or go to your model view, go to your table view, and you may not know where all of that is. So it is very important that we get to know what all of these interfaces are, so it will be easy for us to carry out a seamless analysis and report. Now, for under your home tab, sorry, your home ribbon, you could see this first one where you have the clipboard, you have the cut, you have the copy, and the um, format painter, right? So it means that we can use these guys here. And the reason why it's showing nothing is because there's no data here. Now, the moment I upload the data, it means that I can copy, I can cut, or I can even use my format painter if I'm working on any charts to to copy a certain format into another chart. Now I have my data. Now under this data section, you could see that they gave us this is where you can get your data from. And then we already say earlier that you can get your data from a lot of sources in Power BI. Power BI is that suite that you can get your sources from a lot of source from various source. So you can get your data from various source. Now we have the get data is now giving us a shortcut if you want to get your data from Excel. Do you want to get your data from a lake data hub? Do you want to get your data from an SQL server? Or you want to enter a fresh data? So if I enter this fresh data, for example, if you click on it, you discover that it's coming like this. But are we together, please?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So it's coming like this, but now I can increase more columns and I can also increase more rows. So it means that I can actually, you know, get in my fresh data from the Power BI, depending on number. So imagine I'm looking at trying to create a data that has about 10 columns, right? I'm going to increase the columns until it's 10, and then I'll go ahead and of course rename it. I can have my name here. Are we good? I can have DOB, date of birth. I can have, so you see, you can rename the all of the columns, and then you can also increase the rows till the number of rows you are planning to work with, right? And you can
Yes.
go ahead from here, this point here, to what, to rename your table. So I could rename this table as a student file. Let's just say student file, student data rather, data. Are we good? And we have these other informations and this other information. So if I have 10 students that I'm working with, I can actually have their information, their name, their date of birth, their course of study, let's say course, right? Department, whatever informations you think like we could be here. And then you go ahead and what? And load. So if I go ahead and load this, let me show you something. If I go ahead and load this, it's going to appear in my data field. It's going to appear somewhere here. So it's telling me that, okay, I should apply the changes that I have made. You can click on it because it's course. You can see the stuff loading, right? Student data is trying to create all of what, creating connections and loading data to my model. Fine. We have our record here. Okay. Okay, so we have our record here. So if I use this drop down arrow to open it, you can see what we have here. Are we good? Are we good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we
I don't
good.
want I don't want to, take chances again. All right. So you could see that we already have what our data here, but then it was created from our Power BI. So it's not necessary that you always have to load in your data. If you feel like your data is not so large, and you can work on it, maybe you have some information about some few students you want to work on, and you feel like, oh, I'm very fast in typing, I'm very good at data entry. You know it's not going to be a problem for you. It's not a necessity that you must possibly get that through Excel before you have it here. You can do that from here. You can do that from here, right? So that is where
Yeah.
you enter your data. Now you can also bring in your data from Dataverse or from a recent source. Now I reserve this get data to be the last one because it has a lot. It has a lot. So that's why I'm reserving it to, like, okay, let's talk about it as the last thing here. Now if I click on this drop down arrow, it's showing us that we can get our data from Excel workbook, from a Power BI semantic model, from a data flows, from Dataverse, from a lot of places, right? Now, if I want, I can actually go ahead and click on more. So that the reason why I'm clicking on more, so you can get access to see all of the sources in which you can bring in your data from. And you would agree with me that is actually very much, like, is a lot. Do you get, are we together, please?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Is a lot here. Is a lot. You see, how much it is. Now you can bring in your data from anywhere. Now, one thing I need you to pay attention to while you're working with Power BI is that some Excel file, of course, you can open it in Excel, but it may be a CSV file, right? So if you open a CSV file in Excel, it's going to open for you seamlessly without any glitches. But if you are opening, imagining I want to, I'm bringing in a CSV file, and I click on get data and I'm saying through Excel, and the data is a CSV file. It's not going to open. A very good example is, let's say on my desktop, I have this CSV file here, V113, right? 113. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. So now if I open it, it's not going to show because why? It's a CSV file. It's not.
It's
Okay.
an Excel. It's Excel now, right?
Yeah, it's an Excel file. It's an
Yes.
Excel file.
Yeah.
Uh okay, that's an Excel file. Let me see. Which other CS? So it means the whole idea is that if I have a CSV file, I can't bring it in from here. I can't at all. Like you can't bring it through Excel. Let me check and see if I have any CSV file from here. So it means that you have to bring in the file from where? From its extension. If it's an SQL file, you have to make sure that you are bringing the file into Power BI through SQL. If it's an Excel file, it has to be through Excel. If it's a CSV file, it has to be through CSV. If not, it's not going to load. So you have to pay attention to the extension at which you're bringing in your file from, right? This is that about this. And then you have your transform data here. So now for my transform data, it means that I can, despite the fact that I already have this data set here, the one we just created, I can take it to Power Query. All I need to do is just to transform the data. When you click on your transform, you can take it to Power Query. And one amazing thing is that I can be working on a certain data set while transformation is still ongoing, right? I can be working on a certain data set while transformation is still ongoing. Maybe after some time, I feel like, oh, I still need to do this. I'll just go back and, do what I have to.
Hello. Are you there?
Yes, I'm network again. Okay, please, do you guys have your computers opened? And do you
Yes.
have any data sets? So let's just quickly practicalize what she has said so far before maybe she gets back. Please, you can share your screen first, okay? And if you have a data set opened up in your computer, you can try to upload it. Let's see how that goes. But share your screen first.
Okay. So I have the data set from the hotel. This 2018, 2019, 2020, meal costs, market
You want to share your
segments,
entire screen instead.
interest gesture, right? Stop presenting. So can you see everything I'm showing?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, yeah, okay, thank you. So this is it here. So let me get this Power BI open now. Yeah, I'm sorry, just in case I have it on the whole screen now. So this Power
No
BI, the
problem.
whole Power BI desktop. So from get data, first of all, I want to check something to be sure that I have everything the right way. This is, let me be sure. So I'm trying to confirm the data type. This is, it's an Excel worksheet, so it should be XLOXXX. So if I want to get into the system for Power BI, I will go to get data and Excel workbook. So this is
Okay.
our hotel booking data here. Then I'll open it.
Mhm. I see that you've already imported it before. And see
Yeah,
it in data thing.
I can't even, I don't even know where it is. This thing, I'm still trying to understand some things in it.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay, so do I need to
So since
import
you have
it again?
imported them before, if you import it again, it also imported, but it will have one in the bracket.
So
You know
then,
when you save a file and you save the file again, it
yeah.
carries one in the bracket. Yes. So
So
they are already imported. Yes, I can see it on the data thing.
so how do I now bring it in? If I can't find where it is.
How do you do what?
How do I now see it properly
see
if
them.
it's already
So
imported.
now
Hello, hello,
Um,
hello. Umi, are you back?
yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. My sister is in school. It's just unfortunate that she called around as at
Okay,
when the class was just about to start. She wasn't feeling fine, so I had to arrange for them to take her to a clinic.
okay.
So they were just calling to give me to keep me updated.
Oh, sorry about that. If
Yeah,
it's
thank
better.
you, thank you.
Sorry. When you left, Mr. Namdi said I should just play around with this to do what you did also. So I was trying to I imported this hotel data set. Hotel.
Okay,
Yeah, although I had done it before, but I will just show it again. So we are seeing now that I have it already imported.
yeah.
Uh, but I don't really know how to now navigate through.
Okay, you
okay,
want to
so
see the what do you want to do exactly with the data? You want to see the data?
Yes, please. On this,
So just once you click on the data, go to your table view. No, here.
here.
Come down a little bit. Yeah, table view there.
Oh, wow. I went there before. I didn't see it. I don't know what happened. Okay, so
Maybe it
this.
has not loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is where I stopped in what I understood so far in the other
Okay.
videos that I watched too. So I'll stop presenting now. So you continue, please. Sorry.
All right. So is there any questions so far? Maybe while I was trying to enter those data. Is
It's
there any
okay.
No,
question?
no question.
All right. Everything is being understood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just go ahead. Let's do window. Yeah, this time
So
around.
if it's a CSV file, we'll
Mm-hmm.
get it with text slash CSV, isn't
Text
it?
slash CSV.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Thank
it's
you.
a CSV file, you have to click on text slash CSV. If
Okay.
it's an Excel file, you have to click on Excel. If
Okay.
it's an API file, you have to use that from the web. If it's an SQL file, you have to click on what the SQL to show that okay, this is an SQL file. So that's like what I was trying to say. You have to understand the extension, like where the data is coming from, right?
Mhm.
If you get where the data is coming from, it will be easy for you to do this. I get this question a lot sometimes. I think when I just started navigating my own way around Power BI, I wasted time on this like a lot because I feel like I'm trying to load in data, and then once I click, right, I will now start looking for the data set. Like I was very sure of where the data set is. Okay, now let's go through CSV, and I want to load in an Excel file, for example. And you now be like, okay, so where is this Excel file and all of that? You might just be checking and checking and checking, you won't get it. And then this is through CSV. Let me do this V13 V13. Okay, let me use this and say I just hope it's not a CSV file. Ah, it is going to go ahead. Okay, I think I understand why I'm getting this. My system is being able to like understand it when I want a CSV file or when I want an Excel file. Let me go through desktop. I think I have some data
hi,
in my desktop.
Umi, you're not sharing entire screen, so you're not seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, but I can see that I'm sharing. Can you see my screen, guys?
Was it
Not
the
your
Power BI
entire screen.
interface? Yes.
You're only
You there?
sharing Power BI. You're only sharing the window, not your entire screen.
Oh,
So
oh,
we are only
oh,
seeing Power BI interface.
okay, okay. I'll um we share that. All right. So can you see my screen now clearly?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Download last week. Okay, let me go through this Excel. This is an Excel file, and I go through where I have a CSV. So from what I can understand here, my system has been able to separate when I'm looking for CSV because you know I've been able to get that a lot of times. So the system is trying to help you to say, okay, this like it's just giving me an Excel file. If you notice when I clicked Excel, it just brought only Excel files out. Now, when I click on CSV, it just gave me only CSV file. But it might not be the same with yours as it is now because you've not probably have used it for so long, right? So when you're trying to bring in your data, try to find out which extension you're bringing in the data from, so you not get to make that mistake. All right. So we also have talked about okay. Okay. We also have talked about the transform and refresh, right? Okay, I said you can take in your data.
Ngozi's Ngozi's hand is up before you go too far. There she has a
Oh,
question.
all right. So Ngozi, can I?
Okay. What I want to ask is in terms of this looking at the type of data, what if you're trying to make it you're trying to put it on the web, like you're using the link. Do you
Okay,
still
fine. So if you're using a web, if you're trying to bring in a data from a web, I'm going to say if you come here, you click on get data, you're going to um click on web, right? Because that's where you want to get your data from. Now you see
yeah.
it's telling you either is it from basic or advanced, but now it's asking you to provide the URL of the web you want to get the data from.
Okay.
So what you would do is now to go to the web page where the data is, copy the URL. Let's say from here, for example, you could just go copy the URL of this Google Meet. Now go back to your Power BI. If I'm just saying, if that is where your data is, like if that's where you want to pull in your data from, and now
Mm.
Control V. So once the moment you do this, you're going to click OK, and then it's going to take you to the web page straight, right? Connect, right? Now, when you click on connect, this is where it's going to, while waiting for this, it's going to take me to the page. And then the moment you get to the page, you see the data, like it will give you a preview of the data set you want to bring in.
Okay. So in this case, you don't really need to worry about the formatting.
No, 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 no. It's when you bring in the data set that you now work on the formatting. You can, whatever format it is, you can always take your data to your Power Query and transform it from there. Like get a good transformation from there. So like you can see that it's still loading. It's trying to show us that it's displaying some options, right? As if we have a data set here, but let's just see the magic it's going to do. Okay, we have some HTML code and display wherever, wherever, wherever. Now let's see. This would always give you a preview. So you can see this is basically what you have.
Okay.
This is basically what you have. So if for example you're working with a certain web page where your data is, and then you're bringing it in, the moment you do this, it's going to take you to that web page directly. From the web page, it brings you here. Now you can have a preview, and once you have a preview, you can now either you load direct or you can transform your data direct. Now if I load direct, it's going to take me straight to my Power BI. But if I go to transform data, it will take me to my Power Query where I can transform my data, clean whatever it is I want to clean, change it to the format that I want before I
Okay,
bring
so
it in.
you still have to like do the format thing even though you're getting it from a web. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the part I was trying to know. Okay.
No, now what I mean by formatting is depending on how the data is coming. If the data is coming normal, like every single, relational data, like your normal, like every single entity data, like your table, with rows and column, you may not need to change the format or anything. But like we have here, you could see is displaying what? Display text. This display text. Now let me uncheck that and check this to see the preview here too. So this also what? This also display text.
No, 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 no. It's not. Select the HTML code again. Click on it. Just click on it. The HTML code is different from the display text. Click on the HTML code.
Are you
Can you hear me?
talking to,
Yes, yes. I say just click on the HTML code. Like the data, what is displaying is different. Click on the HTML code.
no, we're actually on the HTML code.
No, you're not. Click on it. Just click on that HTML code.
I'm on it.
No, you're not.
Okay.
To show you a different preview.
Oh, all right. Okay, okay. So this is basically what this is showing us, right? So if you load this, you can now transform it to, or change the format to how it, but of course, it is not normal data that is here. So we can't even load this in because it's not going to give us basically what
Okay.
what to get. It's not going to give us, what we're looking for. All right, so I'm just going to close this because I don't want to load this in. I'm going to close it. So that's it if you are bringing in a data from an API or from a web, either an API or a web. You just have to provide the URL code of the web.
Okay.
And how do you do that? You just have to go to your web, and when you're in your web, copy the URL code. It could be anyone, right? It could be anyone. Copy the URL code and then paste it back to, so that it can take you to that web page directly, and then you can bring in your data from there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So can we move on?
Yes, please.
All right. All right. So now we have the inserts. Now our under our inserts, you have text box, you have more visuals, right? You have all of this. It means that I can actually bring in new visuals to add to my visuals here. I can actually create a text box, right? If I click on text box, you're going to see where I can write something. Text box is you're bringing out something on where you can write, right? Where you can write something, and of course you can also take it out. I'm going to click here and remove this. Now, there we have options for more visuals too. While you under calculations here, this is where a whole lot of calculations is going to happen, especially when you are trying to perform DAX, right? DAX is basically data analytics expression. This is where you're going to carry out your series of DAX and maybe some of your complex calculation for your measures and your calculated columns. And then you have the share and calculate. Of course, the share, this is where you want to share your report to your stakeholders or to your collaborators. Now, one thing you should have at the back of your mind is that the Power BI desktop is where the job is being done. This is where you carry out the report. This is where the report is being designed. Now, from here, you can now share to your Power BI service. So you can now share to either your stakeholders or to your collaborator, the person, whoever it is you're working with. And of course, you can also share from here to the Power BI mobile. So it means that even if you're working on the service, you still need your desktop hand in hand because this is where the job is done. Other place you are just sharing it out. Whatever it is you've done here is basically what you'll be taking out for people to see and view or and collaborate with, right? This is all about the home ribbon. Now let's talk about the insert ribbon. For the insert ribbon, we've talked about new visuals and more visuals earlier. Now, where you have a new page, it means that I can insert a new page from here. We're going to talk about the page as we move on, looking at the whole interface. And now we have a Q&A session here where you have your AI visuals. Now you also have your power platform, right? Your power platforms, where you can actually design a paginated report, and of course, power apps and automate and power automate. Now the last one here is your element. You have your text box. We talked about it earlier. You have your button. Your button could be your maybe you're trying to create a slicer for your report so that people can, it can be very, very interactive. You can actually bring in a shape into whatever it is that you're doing as well. And then you have images. So it means that whichever work you're doing, you can always bring in an image to spice your report up. Now let's talk about the modeling ribbon. Are we good? Are we here together?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So let's talk about the modeling. So for modeling, you can manage your model. This page is showing like nothing is not working because there is really no data to model, right? You can actually manage your model. This is where you get to see, you know, all your connectivity and all of that. You have your calculations, right? You can add a new table, add a new column, measures and columns, just like we explained earlier. Now you see that just like you have in Excel, some of the features in one ribbon is also in another ribbon. So they are trying to make it in such a way that even if you go into a new ribbon, it's not such a new thing for you, except that ribbon is entirely new. And for our view ribbon, this is where you can design your page, right? Your page view. So your page view could either be in a desktop mode or it could be in a mobile layout, right? So now if I'm trying to create a dashboard for somebody that use Power BI mobile, it means that it has to be on my mobile view so that it can suit perfectly into his or her phone when he's trying to to do that. Now you also have the filter. You can insert a filter, page options like your grid line, your snap to grid, or you can also lock a certain object that you bring in into your phone from moving, right? So this is about all of these ribbons here. This is about all of this ribbon. Now the next thing we're going to look at is these pages here. There are these four icons here. One is our report view, the other one is our table view, we have our model view, and we have the DAX query view. Now for report view is where you build your visuals. This is where you build your dashboard, where you create your charts or your report, which is this page here. This wider page is where you bring in, you do all your that. So that is whatever it is you're doing, this is where you get to see them. Whatever analysis you're doing, the visuals you're going to be creating, the report, this is where they will be. Are we together, please?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Okay. Now, the second one is our table view. You might have noticed that if you bring in your data, unlike Excel or Google Slide, you don't get to see your data like you see in Google Slide. This place is kind of hiding it for you. But if I want to get access to my data, I come to my where? To my table view. So under my table view, I can have access to see all of the data that I have. So once I'm working on anything and I want to like okay check the columns of my data and see what is happening within the data, it means that what I have to come to my table view. Now, the moment I come to my report view, I'm no longer going to see the data. It won't be there, but of course it's going to be here. Now I have my model view. This is where you carry out a lot series of modeling. This is where you model your data to have a very, very good analysis. There are a series of reasons why people model data, right? Sometimes maybe you want to track measures and reports on the progress and performance of an individual as maybe you move through different data sets or something. So you kind of want to create your model so that you can have a very, very strong analysis at the end of the whole day or insight. So this is where your model would take place. Now this last guy here, this DAX query, Basically, dark query is a new feature in Power BI. It's actually a new feature in Power BI. I think it was added something late last year. Yeah, around September or so. So it's a new feature. Not everybody, it's using it. So dark query would be, um, we saved your model. Like it has some things to do with the model, right? How do I even explain it? Of course, it's not something you would get to use. It's not something you get to use every now and then, but it's just a new feature in Power BI. Now you have your filter field here, or your filter pane, right? It's called your filter pane. This is called your visualization pane, and this is also called your data field or your data pane there here. So I can actually close all of these and close all of these. And then of course you can expand them. Now let's start from the filter pane. If I'm working on any analysis, for example, and of course, after my visualization, I can bring in and filter whichever analysis I'm doing here, right? A whole lot of an filter can take place here. That's that. Now for visualizations, you see what you have here. This is where all your visuals are. This is where you want to design your background, the background of your report view. This is where you get your page information, your canvas setting. This is also known as your Canva, right? Your canvas setting, your Canva background. If you want to bring in a wallpaper or your filter pane, this is where you get to see them from. Now, why these are basically your visuals. So for those guys who are using the cloud base already, or who are using the Microsoft 365, you can actually have access to getting more visuals. Like if you feel like, okay, you are looking for more visuals, for example, you can just go ahead, click, and what get more visuals from here. But now, for example, for now, this is all of the visuals that are available for you that you can use, right? You have your bar, you have your stack bar, you have the column chart, you have the donut, the pie, you know, the is it tree map. A lot of them are here for you to just navigate and use. And the last one here, from this point, you have your data field. When you load in the data into Power BI, somehow you can see them here, but you cannot see all of the attributes. Like you cannot see the rows and the columns here, but you are just seeing the name of the data set. Like this very one that we created earlier is just showing us that we have a student data here, but we cannot find anything that had to do with it. So how you may be wondering, how do you even now create visuals? So once I click on this place, and then it kind of gives me only it's going to give me only the column headers. It's going to give me only the column header. So at the end of the whole day, the column header is basically what I'm going to be using for all my analysis, right? The column header is basically what I will be using for all my analysis. And the last thing we are going to talk about here is this. Yeah. So you have your desktop layout view. It's here right now. You can also take it to your mobile view. So if I click on my mobile view, it's going to be like this. So the whole idea is so that you people, anybody who is working, or maybe if you're going to create a mobile this thing for, look at, you can see here, create a mobile layout, right? But now I'm going to take it back to our desktop, view, and then we have this page thing here. Just like your Excel or your Google Sheets, you have series of sheets. You have sheet one, sheet two. You have as many sheets as possible. So over here, you also have as many, you can get as many pages as possible, depending on what you're working on and how you want to separate it. I think I've worked on one particular data set where I use up to three different pages, because it was tackling three different things. I think it was on educational and health sector and one other sector. So they were combined together. So what I did was like, okay, my first page is for education, second page is for health sector, and then the third page is, kind of a combination of basically what we have. So this is all about your Power BI interface, how you can bring in data, how you can navigate within Power BI, and then how you can work with Power BI. Is there any questions?
No.
None for now.
Um, okay, okay. All right. So before we move forward, or before we move further, let's just carry a very simple illustration and see what we have here. So imagine I want to bring in a data, for example, into the Power BI. I'm going to go to where? Get my data, right? From get my data, I'm going to choose where the data I want to bring in the data from. Let's say, okay, let's say an Excel file. Let's say an Excel file and see. So if you have any Excel file, you can work with me together. Just bring in your data into the Power BI. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's work on this.
This this hotel that I use is Excel file I use right here.
Let me see.
The one we have on our um classroom.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
an
an
Excel
Excel
file.
file.
Excel access.
That's an Excel file. Okay, let me go back. I don't want to bring in one bulky data. I just want to bring in something really, really simple.
Mm.
All right. I hope this is not too bulky. Okay, so this is an Excel file. I'm going to go ahead and click on order, and it's going to preview. All right, so it's going to preview with this. So you can see the data. I'm just going to go ahead and load it in. So when I load it in, it's going to stay together with the one that I already have before. Right? It's going to stay together with other. Okay, so you can see the first one here. This is the first one, student data, and this is the second one, student orders. Now, there are situations where you may have bring in some data set and you now feel like, oh, this is not what I wanted to bring into Power BI, right? You may be wondering, how do you get that away? So just come back to your data field here, right? These three dots. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to remove this data we created earlier, this student data. You're going to click on this double, right click on these double dots. When you do, it's going to give you all of these. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so you see, you can either select measure. These are like, okay, all of the options that's giving you. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this from where? From model. Okay, so you see, you can see where you have, it's telling us, are you sure you want to delete this data? Yes, I want to. Now is out of my my data field. I no longer have it here. So even if you made a mistake and bring in some data that you don't want to, bring in, it's still fine. Don't There's not reason to be panic. You can always take it away. right? You can always take it away. So you can see we have this particular data set, where you have is another data set where I have the others series of this thing. Now I can also come back here to view the data set. I come to my data view to view the data set, right? I have my row ID, my order ID, order date, ship date, blah, 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 down to the last one, which is order priority. So if I have my data set here, this is how I can go ahead and start carrying out some analysis, um, and all of that. This is just like to demonstrate, to show you that, okay, this, if you want to bring in a data set into your system, one, and then if you want to go through your data set, this is how you can go through. So now the next point for us is to go through what we already have in the classroom, right? We have a project that we're supposed to work together with, just like Mr. Inamdi explained earlier. We're going to go through that and explore every single options we can explore from there. And like I said earlier, it's Power BI is actually a very, very sweet tool. So getting your hands or getting to know all of the interface is like one of the first things you would want to do, so that it will be easy for you to know how to navigate around the whole Power BI interface when you are working, or when some work is going on, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead to this. We'll be in module 3 by now. Now, in this module 3, like Mr. Nnamdi explained early, it's hotel revenue and customer experience through data-driven insights, right? So basically, we have the introductions, we have the client profile, and then we're going to be following this task. We're going to be following this to get our job done at the end of the whole day. So this is the data. If you have not downloaded it, I would just say you should go ahead and download it. If you are also sure that you can bring in your data from your um, Google Sheets, it's also very good. So now if you want to bring in data from Google Sheets, nobody asked that question. Remember, your Google Sheet is also a web or an API. So if I come click here, click more, and I type in Google Sheet here, Google Sheet, right? You have it here. So instead of you to click on all of them and be searching for where you can get it from, you can always use your search bar here to search for their names, and of course you connect. Now, when you click on connect, it's going to tell you to put in the URL, the Google Sheet URL, right? So you just navigate to where this data is and then bring it there. So let's try this and see. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to open it from Google Sheet. Are we working together? We
Yes.
should,
Yes.
right? All right, thank you. So let's give it some time to load. It's still loading. Okay. So we have this here, right? Guys, are we good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, fine. So we have the data set here. So since it's asking us to bring in the URL, as usual, I'm just going to copy and go back here and paste here. Control V. Okay, you aren't signed in. So here is asking me to sign in. That is where the problem is going to be. It's asking me to sign in. I don't have a Power BI this thing. Let's see and
I
see.
think
Let me,
you sign in with your Google account, Gmail
yeah,
account.
you use your Google account. I'm doing that already. It's asking me for password. Um, can I remember the password? Okay, so can you guys try that? Let's see.
Yeah, mine worked.
What amazing, amazing. Ngozi, how about you?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
All right, try. Let's hear.
Okay.
But I just cancelled when I got to the last part because I'd already imported it before as Excel. So I had to stop.
Okay, okay, okay. Um, okay, try. Let's see, Ngozi. Let's see.
Okay.
So that means if you just know your Google account correctly, it's going to open,
Okay.
right? Iro or Ira.
Yeah, Euro, anything, just anything. Oh, it's fine.
Okay, I like calling traditional names. So let me try this. It came ha. Okay, okay, I'll
Ikem
get that.
Denachi.
Please, can you pronounce it for me
Ikem Denachi. You can just call
again?
me Ikem. Just call me Ikem.
Okay, yeah, Nkem will do.
Ikem is fine.
Nkem will do.
Yeah.
Ngozi, please present your screen. Let's see so we can help you out.
Okay.
Yeah, present your screen. Let's see so we can help you out.
Hmm. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get the link from here.
Okay, so you can copy the link from here.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, amazing! I think it connected. Okay, that's in your for password.
It's asking me to sign in. Yeah.
Yeah. So you choose an account and sign in through. Let's see. Can you remember your Google password?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's saying that it's connected.
Then let's give it a while, let it load.
Okay.
Give it some time. If it's connected, it's going to load. Unable to connect. All right, Mr.
Yeah.
Inamdi, you want to say something? Mr. Inamdi?
Hi, Ngozi. Hi, Ngozi. Can you hear me?
Hi,
Please,
I can hear you.
I would recommend that you publish a data set first to the web and then use the web version. Most times, the Google Sheets option to input the data um is usually kind of difficult to do. It doesn't go smoothly most times. So go back to your sheet. Go back to your sheet, that Google Sheet.
Okay. I already downloaded it.
No, don't. I'm not saying you should download it. I want us to connect it via the web. So go back to the Google Sheets.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So please publish it to the web. Publish it to the web and copy the published link. No, I'm not publishing as web page. I'm publishing as Excel. Then copy this link now. Let's go to Power BI. Get data, web, use web option.
Okay.
Here's the link. Let's hope that it will be imported now. Connect. Is this still loading at your end? Because the
Yes,
screen looks
it's still loading.
okay. It's taking longer than I expected.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Okay, so now you can check the boxes for those different sheets and then bring them in. So check. Okay,
Remaining
okay.
one is left. One of the
And
boxes is
dictionary is not
okay.
stuck with
Okay.
puzzle that
Okay.
should
Now
bring
I
it
just
in here.
yeah, I just saw it.
Okay. So just go ahead and load. Hmm?
Yeah, you can load since you can always go to your Power Query at any time. You can load.
Oh, okay. Will I click on skip or wait?
Just wait.
Still load your light machine.
Don't skip. Just wait. It's kind of bringing
Okay.
them. Yeah, you could see anyone is done connecting it to give it a check, like it's done with this. So if you skip, it might jump this process.
Okay.
All right. I think you have your data ready.
Okay.
So if you are no patient, somehow Power BI is going to teach you some patience because
Okay.
it's sometimes
Then
you can
this
just get.
message on top.
You said,
Can you see that error message on top? There are pending changes
where
in your queries. Mm,
just it's loading. Just leave it, let it load.
at the
It's
top.
still showing that it's loading. Yeah, I can
Okay.
see it. Basically, what it's showing that okay, there are some pending queries in within your queries or be your table. If you give it time, it's going to finish loading. So it's still loading. Like it's showing that it's still loading. In as much as it does
Okay.
not appear on your data field, it means that it's still loading. So when it's done, that's error message will go away.
Okay.
It's really taking a while. I'm sure it must be a
Yes.
large data. Let me check it myself.
Should I stop sharing?
Don't worry, just stay on the line. I just wanted to check.
Okay.
I think you have. Yeah, it seems it's quite big with different sheets. So different sheets, different year. So I'm sure that's why it's taking so much time.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
because naturally your system is not so fast, right? Is it?
Yes, not.
That might also be some factors that would contribute to this because this is taking so long to load.
It's taking so long. Showing that there are some errors. Okay, you only have two downloaded here.
Okay, so because I guess when you watch the video in the classroom, you see the way these the errors were handled. It will be
Yes,
sorry,
please.
right?
I did.
Because so these errors, we expected to see the errors. When you watch those videos in the classroom, you see how to handle it. But the data set had been loaded already. They've been
Okay.
loaded. So you can just close this, just click on close.
Okay.
You can do further um,
So should I
transformation.
stop sharing? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right. So I was saying that I mean we already see the beautiful ways you can bring in your data from the web and of course from your Google Sheets. Right. One of the amazing thing this would do for you is that if, for example, you're working with a live data, and for any chance you get to increase, even after you have created your reports and your dashboard, all you need to do is just to go back and you see that every single thing that I've added has, the moment you hit your refresh button, it's automatically going to update itself. So is there any questions? Let's take a questions, please.
I don't have any right now.
Okay.
I don't have any
um
too. Hopefully, we'll
it
go through
came
the classroom.
it came You don't have any too?
No, none for now. Maybe when we go to the classroom, and we try to just go through what was shown for us to practice with. Then hopefully when we meet again on Thursday, we'll ask any questions because for now we're just doing the basic things. Now I think we've not entered the main the
Yeah,
serious part,
basically.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the place where we are hoping to see how we catch up on everything being taught.
All
Thank you very
right.
much. It was a nice session today.
All right. All right. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very much.
much, Ngozi and Ikem. I would see you guys on Thursday, same time, same venue.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you. So 7 p.m. works for you on Thursday, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the week.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
All
you too.
right. All right.
Thank
See you
you. Thank
guys.
you, Namde. Thank you, Namde.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.